Have you ever looked in the mirror one morning and thought, when did I start looking this tired? Maybe your skin feels duller than before, or your energy just isn't the same. You're sleeping okay, trying to stay active, maybe even taking your vitamins, and yet, somehow, your body feels older than it should. Well, what if I told you that it might not be about how much you move, or how much you rest, but what's sitting quietly in your kitchen, in your fridge, or even your pantry, slowly speeding up the aging process without you even realizing it? That's right, some of the foods we've been eating for years, maybe even decades, can quietly chip away at our health after we hit 60. They might seem harmless, even comforting. Some might even be labeled as healthy. But our bodies change as we age. The foods that worked fine when we were 30 or 40 can become a real problem after 60, when our metabolism slows, our cells repair more slowly, and our digestion isn't what it used to be. In this video, I want to share with you 5 common foods that secretly make you age faster, foods that many people over 60 eat every single day without realizing how much damage they're doing. And more importantly, we'll talk about what to do instead, how to make small, simple swaps that help your body stay young, your energy stay steady, and your skin and mind stay fresh. Let's start with one of the biggest culprits, the food that hides in nearly everything we eat, sugar. Now, before you sigh and think, oh, I've heard that one before, hear me out, because sugar does far more than just add a few pounds. When you're younger, your body can process sugar more efficiently. But after 60, your cells don't handle glucose the same way. Every time you eat something sugary, a pastry, a sweetened yogurt, a can of soda, or even that healthy granola bar, sugar molecules attach to proteins in your body in a process called glycation. That might sound complicated, but what it really means is that sugar sticks to your cells like glue, making them stiff, weak, and prone to damage. The result? Wrinkles form faster, joints feel stiffer, and even your vision and memory can start to fade more quickly. It's like sugar is quietly rusting your body from the inside out. But the tricky part is, sugar hides everywhere. Even foods that don't taste sweet, like bread, ketchup, salad dressing, and breakfast cereal, can be loaded with it. So, one of the best things you can do is start reading labels. Look for words like syrup, fructose, or maltose. Those are all just fancy names for sugar. And instead of cutting all sweetness completely, try using natural options in moderation, like a few drops of raw honey, or even better, getting sweetness from fresh fruit. Your taste buds will adjust, and your skin and energy will thank you for it. Now, let's talk about something you probably have in your kitchen right now, vegetable oils. You know, the kind that comes in those big plastic bottles labeled heart healthy. For decades, we were told that vegetable oils like soybean, corn, and canola oil were good for us. But here's the truth, those oils are processed under such high heat that they lose their natural nutrients and turn into something your body doesn't recognize. These oils are full of omega-6 fatty acids, which aren't bad on their own, but the problem is balance. Our ancestors used to eat a healthy ratio of omega-3s to omega-6, but modern diets flipped that upside down. Too many omega-6 cause inflammation, and inflammation is one of the biggest triggers of aging. It leads to joint pain, heart problems, foggy thinking, and even sagging skin. What's even worse is that these oils are everywhere, in fried foods, salad dressings, and even in so-called healthy snacks. So, what can you do? Switch to oils that actually help your body heal, like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or even a bit of coconut oil. These natural fats are anti-inflammatory and packed with antioxidants that protect your cells. And trust me, when you make that switch, you'll start to feel the difference, less bloating, clearer thinking, and maybe even a bit more glow in your skin. The third sneaky aging food is one that many of us love, processed meats. I know, bacon smells amazing, and a slice of ham in your sandwich seems harmless. But the truth is, processed meats, like sausages, hot dogs, deli meats, and even some packaged bacon, are loaded with preservatives like nitrates and nitrites. These chemicals give meat that pink color and help it last longer, but inside your body, they turn into compounds that damage your cells and your DNA. Over time, that means more wrinkles, slower healing, and higher risks for heart and digestive issues. Now, you don't have to give up meat altogether. But try to choose better quality, things like fresh chicken, fish, or lean cuts of beef that you cook yourself. If you really love bacon, look for nitrate-free options or limit how often you eat it. Think of it like this: every small change you make is an investment, not just in more years of life, but in better years. What I found most surprising when I started learning about these foods is how much of aging has nothing to do with time, and everything to do with what we put into our bodies. It's not about avoiding every treat or never enjoying your favorite meal again. It's about balance. Our bodies after 60 are like fine instruments. They need the right kind of fuel to stay in tune. And the good news is, once you start cutting out the foods that secretly age you, your body responds faster than you might think. Within weeks, many people notice better energy, fewer aches, and even a brighter look to their skin. Now that we've talked about how sugar, vegetable oils, and processed meats can quietly speed up the aging process, let's move on to a few more foods that might surprise you. The ones most people never suspect are adding years to their face and fatigue to their body. If you're still watching and feel that these insights are meaningful, please type number 2 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to do so, and don't forget to turn on the bell, so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos designed to uplift, inform, and inspire. Your support truly means a lot. It's what keeps us going and allows us to continue sharing thoughtful, helpful content just for you. Now, let's continue this journey together. You know, when we talk about foods that make us age faster, most people immediately think of sweets or fried foods. But what often catches people by surprise are the foods that seem healthy, the ones that sneak into our diets because we've been told they're good for us. And that brings me to the next big culprit: refined carbohydrates. Think about all those soft white breads, fluffy rolls, crackers, and breakfast cereals that melt in your mouth. They taste comforting, don't they? They remind us of home, of childhood. But here's the thing: those refined carbs are just sugar in disguise. The moment they hit your digestive system, they turn into glucose and spike your blood sugar levels almost instantly. Now, when you were younger, your body could handle those swings a bit better. But after 60, those spikes lead to inflammation, energy crashes, and something called glycation, that same process that stiffens your skin and joints. It's like your cells get sticky and tired, and that shows up on the outside too: fine lines, sagging skin, and even more fatigue. And it's not just about how you look, it's how you feel. When your blood sugar swings up and down all day, you get those mid-afternoon crashes, the brain fog, the irritability, and sometimes, that sudden need for a nap you didn't plan to take. The good news is, there's a simple way to fix it. Swap out the refined carbs for whole, natural sources. Try whole grain bread with real seeds and fiber, oats instead of sugary cereal, or quinoa instead of white rice. These foods release energy slowly, keeping your blood sugar steady and your mind sharp. And over time, you'll notice that steady energy returning, the kind you thought you'd lost for good. Now, speaking of things that sneak into our meals without us realizing it, let's talk about dairy. This one surprises a lot of people. Many of us grew up believing milk was one of the healthiest foods on earth. And while that might have been true for a growing child, our bodies change dramatically after 60. We produce less of the enzyme that helps digest lactose, the natural sugar in milk, and that can cause bloating, gas, and even skin flare-ups. But there's another reason dairy can age you faster. The hormones and proteins it contains can trigger inflammation and oil production, leading to puffiness, dull skin, and that tired look we all try to avoid. Some studies even show that dairy might accelerate the loss of collagen, that natural protein that keeps your skin smooth and firm. Now, that doesn't mean you need to say goodbye to your morning coffee with cream or your favorite yogurt forever. It's about finding balance. Try switching to unsweetened almond, oat, or coconut milk. If you love cheese, go for smaller portions of aged varieties like Parmesan or goat cheese, which tend to be easier to digest. Your body will thank you, and you might notice your skin and digestion improving in just a couple of weeks. I remember a woman I met during a wellness talk. She was in her late 70s, full of life and energy, but she said she'd been feeling bloated and sluggish for years. She decided to cut back on dairy for just 1 month, and she told me she couldn't believe the change. Her skin looked clearer, her energy improved, and she said she felt lighter, not just in her body, but in her mood. It's amazing how even one small change like that can transform how we feel every day. Now, before we move on to the final food, let's talk about something many people over 60 enjoy, and often in the name of relaxation: alcohol. Maybe it's a glass of wine with dinner, or a little whiskey before bed. And sure, a drink now and then can feel nice. It's part of social life, a moment of comfort. But as we age, our bodies process alcohol very differently. Our liver becomes less efficient, our skin thinner, and our cells more sensitive to dehydration. Even a small amount of alcohol can dry out your skin, deplete essential nutrients like vitamin B and magnesium, and disrupt your sleep, which means your body doesn't get the time it needs to repair itself overnight. You wake up feeling tired, even if you've technically slept 8 hours. Over time, that dehydration and lack of deep rest show up as fine lines, dark circles, and that constant feeling of sluggishness. And because alcohol turns into sugar in your system, it also feeds that same glycation process we talked about earlier, the one that accelerates aging at the cellular level. Now, I'm not saying you have to give it up entirely. Life should still be enjoyed. But maybe think about how often you're drinking, and why. Sometimes, what we really crave isn't the wine or beer, it's the ritual, the comfort. Try replacing your evening drink with herbal tea, sparkling water with a slice of lime, or even a mocktail with fresh fruit. You still get that sense of winding down without draining your body. And let me tell you something, after just a few weeks of cutting back, many people notice their sleep improving, their skin looking brighter, and their mornings feeling easier. You might even rediscover that steady, natural energy you thought was gone forever. You see, aging doesn't just happen because we get older, it's a reflection of how our cells are treated day after day. Every food we eat either helps those cells repair and renew, or it slows them down. And while it's easy to think that it's too late to change, it never is. Our bodies are remarkably forgiving. Give them the right kind of support, and they respond beautifully, no matter your age. Now that we've talked about refined carbs, dairy, and alcohol, and how they quietly add years to our body and mind, let's move on to one last food that many people completely overlook, but it might just be the most surprising one of all. You know, when we think about aging foods, most people never consider this last one: processed meats. Bacon, sausages, deli meats, and even those ready-made ham slices that make sandwiches quick and easy. They seem harmless, even convenient, but they hide one of the most damaging combinations for aging: preservatives, sodium, and inflammatory fats. Here's what really happens. Those meats are often packed with nitrates and nitrites, chemicals that help them look fresh and pink for longer. But inside the body, those same chemicals create free radicals, unstable molecules that damage your cells and speed up aging from the inside out. That's not just about wrinkles, it's about what's happening to your heart, your brain, and your joints. And then there's the salt. Processed meats contain enormous amounts of sodium, way more than your body actually needs. And after 60, your kidneys and blood vessels become more sensitive to that salt. It makes you retain water, raises your blood pressure, and gives your skin that puffy, tired look. It can even make your hands and ankles swell slightly, which many people mistake for normal aging, but often, it's just your body begging for relief. I remember one gentleman I met at a senior wellness retreat. He told me he used to eat bacon every morning for decades. It was his little morning joy. But after a routine checkup showed his blood pressure creeping up, he decided to try something different. He switched to turkey slices and fresh avocado toast a few mornings a week. Within a few months, not only had his blood pressure improved, but he said he felt lighter and more energetic than he had in years. Sometimes, it's not about removing all the joy from food, it's about finding new joys that make you feel alive. You see, we often underestimate how much food influences our mood, our sleep, even our sense of motivation. After 60, every cell in our body is trying to work just a little harder to keep things running smoothly. And when we give it the wrong fuel, sugar, refined carbs, too much dairy, alcohol, or processed meats, it's like asking an old engine to run on dirty oil. It still moves, but not with the same ease or clarity. But here's the wonderful part: when you start making small, thoughtful changes, your body responds fast. You start waking up feeling refreshed, your digestion becomes gentler, and your skin starts to regain that natural glow. You might even feel more confident looking in the mirror, because the reflection staring back feels more like you again, vibrant, alive, and in control. Happiness and health after 60 aren't about strict diets or giving up everything you love. They're about awareness, knowing what helps your body thrive and what quietly wears it down. Maybe you can't cut everything out at once, and that's perfectly okay. Start small. Maybe this week, you swap your white bread for whole grain. Next week, you try dairy-free milk in your coffee. Over time, those tiny choices add up, and your body begins to thank you in ways you can see and feel. And remember, aging isn't the enemy. It's a privilege. It's proof that you've lived, learned, and loved. But what matters most is how you age. You deserve to feel strong and energized, not slowed down by habits that no longer serve you. The foods you choose today can shape not just how long you live, but how much joy you feel in those years. I know it's easy to think that one slice of bacon or one glass of wine doesn't make a difference, but imagine the power of changing just one small thing every day. Over a year, that's hundreds of moments where you chose vitality over routine. And that's what real health is. It's not perfection, it's progress. So, if there's one message I want you to take away from this, it's this: your body still listens to you. It still wants to heal, to renew, to thrive. Give it the chance. Let go of the foods that secretly work against you, those hidden sugars, refined carbs, heavy dairy, frequent alcohol, and processed meats. Replace them with foods that feel alive: fresh vegetables, fruits, healthy fats, clean proteins, and plenty of water. The more life you put into your meals, the more life you'll feel in yourself. And remember, it's never too late to start. Whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, every choice you make now can brighten your days ahead. You can still wake up each morning with energy, clarity, and a smile that feels effortless. Because true youth isn't about the number of candles on your cake, it's about how alive you feel inside. If this message spoke to you, I'd love to hear from you. Share in the comments below, which of these foods surprised you the most? Or what change are you thinking about making first? I read every single one, and your stories inspire others more than you know. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips on living your healthiest, happiest life after 60. Every week, we share simple, practical ways to help you feel strong, confident, and full of joy, because you deserve nothing less. Here's to you, to aging gracefully, to choosing life, and to feeling young from the inside out.